The persons that we can obviously trust and depend on are friends. But this story is about a boy who was responsible for his best friend's death. Let's read his story. When I and my best friend were 16, we thought it would be fun to find an empty house that was near his home. It took us about 2 or 3 streets away. We decided to go see the house at night on purpose. I told my mom and dad that I was visiting his house. He had also said to his parents that he would come over to mine like we usually did often. So, we just picked up our flashlights and began the 5-minute walk to reach the house. When we first got there, it seemed boring and not very exciting. Clearly, lots of people had been to the house before us because all 3 floors showed signs that they were used. Stuff was all over the ground, and the walls had lots of holes and ripped paper. Pretty soon, we were on the 3rd floor and started to separate. Each of us went into a different room as we looked around more. I picked the first room in the hall, and he went into a different one across from mine. It was a normal room. It had 1 bed with a storage place. I began to search for anything interesting, but soon heard my friend softly calling me by name. I went to the door, annoyed. But before I could ask what he needed, he quickly entered the room and put his hands on my mouth. He quietly told me not to make a sound because it wasn't him. At first, I doubted him and thought he was joking. But when the same voice called my name again, even though my friend was close by, I believed that he really meant what he said. Nobody else knew we were going to the house that night, so it couldn't be any of our dumb friends playing a trick on us. I've never been so scared. It felt like I died. My heart stopped, and a quick sense of dizziness made me feel like throwing up. We sprinted and hid under a bed. It seemed like many hours, but it was likely only 20 to 30 minutes. Finally, we mustered the guts to begin going down the stairs, trying to get out of that awful house. When we got to the 2nd floor, I heard that voice again. I'm embarrassed to say it, but fear took me over, and I began running fast. In the mess, I dropped my flashlight, but I kept running, only with a little moonshine to guide me. I abandoned my best friend. I heard his voice asking for help, but I kept going and didn't look back. Finally, I got to the outside. Then I turned and waited for him, but he never came out. I was waiting, and it seemed like a very long time. I simply hoped he would appear, but he never came out of the house. It's already been 3 years, and he is still not found. The cops went to the house and found my flashlight in a spot on the 2nd floor, where I had dropped it before. They also located my friend's flashlight in another room upstairs, on the 3rd level. Was he dragged there? Every time I go to sleep at night, I think about what happened in that house after leaving him. Was he kidnapped? Did he suffer? What happened to him because of that thing, and what was it? It's his birthday today, and I can't stand the guilt anymore. I can't deal with his parents anymore. His mom hasn't been out of the house since her son disappeared, and his family is breaking up. Nothing keeps them together now. Sometimes at night when I'm alone, I can hear him asking for help. His voice is desperate and begging, but there's nothing that I can do to help him. It feels like a cage holds me in place without any escape possible. I wish we hadn't gone to that house. I'm sorry, William. Happy birthday, man. When your friend screams for help, but you cannot move to assist, it is inhuman and painful indeed. The nights must be very long for the boy. May his soul rest in peace.